Happy Tuesday to you. It's Deanna Dorell here from the Dancing Goddess. I just want to thank a goddess that asked me this question this past weekend. She said, what do I do or what can I do when I have said no to a friend or a coworker or a spouse and I encounter resistance? Great question. It really encompasses so many different themes, and the main one is the B word. Not that B word, I'm talking about boundaries. And I think when we say the word boundaries, sometimes it can imply a sense of confinement or restriction, but I'm going to encourage you and invite you to see it as freedom. What if having a boundary, setting a boundary, really gave you and the people in your life the freedom to know where you stand, which in turn allows them to help you meet that? And especially when you are sensitive, highly sensitive to energies, and you're in tune with the environment around you, it can be really, really hard to set a boundary. So I just want to first acknowledge this goddess for saying no when she meant no. That's awesome. I want to give you 3 tips that you can use to help you stick to a boundary that you've set. The first one is to get grounded. Okay, get grounded, aka manage your energy. You're more likely to stick to a boundary that you've set if you are calm, if you are centered, and if you are free from external just energies. What I mean by this is if you just got off the freeway and you just got home from work, it's probably not the best time to have an important conversation. When you are frazzled or you're anxious or you're hungry or tired, you're more likely to slip into other people's energies, and then it can confuse the boundary that you set. So, what does this mean? It means if you are facing somebody, let's say you're walking out of your car and you see the person you're supposed to have the conversation with, you just say, hey, I need some time to unwind and transition from my day. Can I give you a call in about 10 minutes, or can we talk about this later? It's up to us, not them, to set the boundary. So, a couple of my favorite ways to get grounded. The first is to close my eyes and take a nice deep breath. So simple, but it works for me. Also, I love taking off my shoes and walking in the grass. And I've gotten funny stares. I've done this downtown Phoenix when I was coming out of a big, tall office building. I get looks. I don't care. I'm grounded. I'm happy. And finally, sometimes I'll just shut myself in my office and dance like a crazy goddess for 10 or 15 minutes. To music or no music, doesn't matter. But I feel centered, and that's the point. Stay centered, get grounded. Tip number 2 is, actually before we get to tip number 2, I want to just say a word about resistance. When you encounter resistance, remember we can never change anybody. We can never change or force our opinions on anyone. So your job is to really stand up for you and stand up for your boundary, because it really does. It creates a ripple effect and it affects the whole. It affects the people around you. So remember, it's not about you. It's about standing up for you. Which brings me to the next thing. If you encounter resistance, a tip that has really helped me is to avoid over-explaining. It's easy, especially again when you're first learning how to set a boundary, to feel the need to explain or over-defend yourself. And frankly, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you state how you feel. And state how you feel in a calm, neutral tone. People are more likely to hear you when you're in that tone, and it's easy to, again, fall into their energy, get over emotional, base what you need to say off of what you think they're going to say back. All that crap. All you got to do is say how you feel, make sure you're calm. And the last tip is send them some pink light. This is a really fun tip I got from Doreen Virtue. She shared with us that when you're out in public, you can ask the angels to encase you in a pink light instead of a white light. I thought that was interesting, and she said it had something to do with love, the energy of love, and it felt like she was able to empathize without going into their stuff. So if you want to try the pink light, she's likened it to a lipstick tube, a little casing, lipstick case. I love it. It works. I would take it a step further and just invite you, if you're encountering any kind of resistance, to send the other person pink energy or pink light. One of my favorite things to do is to visualize a giant pink heart balloon going towards them and exploding pink love all over. Because as you know, when you encounter resistance, it's usually based in fear. And love trumps fear any day. So those are my 3 tips for you. Get grounded, avoid over-explaining, and finally try the pink light. Which of those tips, I want to hear from you, are you going to try this week? Which one spoke to you? Post a comment on the blog at thedancinggoddess.com. If you're not already on my Dancing Goddess VIP list, I would love to have you. It's free. You'll get weekly goodness from me every Tuesday, and also you'll get my free angel guide, which tells you which archangel to call on for a specific issue. So that's what I got for you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk very soon. Lots of love.